Well, it's hot and it's sunny, and I have a sunburn on my face from being outside in the sun yesterday and not putting a hat on. So today, I wear a hat. Let's check on these kittens and see if we have some logic to them. Okay, so there's no logic. My favorite kitten is over here. This is my little Peaches. That's my little Peaches. Yeah, this Peaches, and the other two are over here with Gwen. So we're playing musical kittens again, but everyone is looking good and strong. Mama cats are eating and feeding their babies. They are playing musical babies. So we have started making sure that what's her face? Gwen has more than one, because she's doing this thing where only Patches is her friend. She's only gonna look after Patches, and that's like, okay, but you know, Patches is not the only child you had, and she really likes Patches. So we've been taken to giving her usually Smokey back, and it seems like no matter what we do, Peaches goes over to Jake. Like, her eyes are practically open, like they're on their way, and because they're on their way, she's starting to be able to squirrel around, and when she's squirreling around, hello, Bunnels. They're still nervous of me. There's one up front there. So they're still nervous of me. They're still nervous of everyone. They need some time. And they are in quarantine. That's why I don't touch them when I'm heading over to the babies here. Because if they have something, I don't want to carry it to our babies. So we just take a look. And I touch them separately just because I really don't want to end up in a position where hi, sweetie, where I transfer something. Okay, we have like bunnies everywhere. Here's one. Here's another one. They're like all over the place. Here's another one. We have a peanut that I don't think is gonna make it, but I don't actually know that. Here's another one. You're over here. No, we all over here. Yeah, you guys are looking pretty good. I'm not entirely happy with the peanuts. Not really. That peanut's not growing. But, you know, what can you do about it? Not a ton. So Stump hasn't had any babies yet, and there's no nest. If Stump doesn't have babies by Friday, we're going to pull her. Come on, lock down. So if Stump doesn't have any babies by Friday, we're going to pull her. It's going to be a hot one. I'm just going to check and make sure. Oh, yeah. Everyone's taking shelter in their shade. Good, good. Now, we're lucky here, even though this is in the sun right now. By afternoon, here's Bonnie. He's not dead. But by afternoon, basically what happens is this is all in shade because of the trees. So even though it's going to be a hot one, we're okay. So, and I don't have to check these coops for eggs because Tristan already brought in a bunch of eggs. I will check the quail because I don't think he checked. But he did check the 2 coops with hatching eggs. So good. I will check the quail. Then we'll go check the babies in the baby barn. The chicks. And the whatevers. You're not tangled, are you? No. I thought Mira was tangled. She's not. She's okay. Any eggs yet? No, probably later? Okay. Maybe I should, like, walk it. Not that we have anything come into the yard at this point. I mean, when we do, tequila and vodka are pretty fast. Even that crow or raven that was taking the duck eggs, tequila was pretty quick. She was pretty quick. That crow was no more. I'll let you imagine what she did. There's certain things we don't say sometimes in videos because if you say them too much, you get people reporting the video or the video gets caught up in the filters. So We don't say stuff. Hi. So we still have 3 ducklings and a chick in this one. And everyone's looking really good. Wow, you guys have made a mess. That's okay. Everyone here is still good too. They've made a mess. Their food's literally everywhere, but their water's not spilled. These guys have the ducks have a heavier crock, so their sand is not constantly wet, which is good. We switched to a heavier crock because that was absolutely insane. But they're still all accounted for. We haven't lost any of them, which is good. Now, sometimes you do. Okay, I think it's important to note that when you have baby chicks or baby bunnies, losing 1 or 2 here and there happens. Sometimes you even lose an entire batch for reasons you don't always understand. It shouldn't happen constantly, because if it's batch after batch after batch, then you're doing something wrong. But if it's, I'm losing a chick here, a chick there, I lost this one batch, but all the other batches were fine, then it's probably not you. It's probably just the way things went. Hi, Jabba. This is my Jabba. Oh, love Jabba. So it's not always you. Sometimes it's you. So if you are losing a bunch of babies, it's a good idea to figure out why. Okay? Hi. What are we all doing hanging out? Are we doing nothing? We're just complaining. Okay. We can complain all we like. All right. But I'm going to grab this egg and leave you to complain then. It's complaining chicken. Beautiful egg. Take that one. So that's what I wanted. I think Tristan brought most of the eggs. Are you dead, Arwen? Are you very dead? Yeah, I was going to film you dead, and then you sat up. You're not dead? She's not actually dead. It just was a funny position that I didn't get to film because I probably shouldn't have said anything to her. So what's the plan today? Close the gate properly. With that. The plan today is pretty simple. I am making more butter, figuring out what on earth we're doing for dinner, but I'm not really hungry. So other people have to eat. Other people suck. Other people should just stop eating. Then I wouldn't have to do so many dishes. Just not the point. I also have to candle some eggs tonight. Have to wait for the sun to start to go down so it's a little bit darker. It doesn't have to be completely dark, but it has to be like kind of dark. Otherwise, like, you can't candle them out in this. You simply cannot. So you kind of have to... Oh, that's a big raven. He's leaving. He's leaving. But you have to kind of wait till the light is a little bit less intense. Because if you tried to candle right now, there's no way you'd see anything. The light would just, vanish in the light around you. Just wouldn't help. So you do need a little bit of darkness. Ducks are over there, if anyone's wondering. And under the picnic table. And over there, under the barn. So we're doing that today. I might fit in 1 or 2 other things. But I don't really have a ton of plans for today. Because I am focused on candling those eggs. I want to know. The incubator that has 4 rows of eggs, and the front 2 rows go into lockdown tomorrow, and the back 2 rows need to get candled tonight. So I'm excited about that. It'd be fantastic. Anyway, that is the plan for today. And I am excited for those eggs because there's a bunch of silky eggs in those 2 batches. So I want to check and see if they're fertile, and then tomorrow we get to lock down some of the other ones. You guys don't have any eggs? I'm just looking at the bottom of the quail coop. No, I don't see any. I see crazy birds, though. Anyway, I am going to go get on with my day. I do want to clean the 1 chick pen because they made a mess. So I'm going to go do that. And I am going to double check if I think Stump is going to have babies. I'm starting to doubt it now. If she doesn't have babies in the next few days, we're just going to take her out because Trunk needs to be locked down on Friday in case she's pregnant. I don't know that she is, but she did get together with Silverado when she was loose and he was loose at the same time. Yes, we're bad at containing them. She was on her month-long excursion around the yard and he had slipped out because Rowan didn't close the door. You know, when those things happen at the same time, we saw him breed her at least once. So is she going to have babies? I don't know. Does she need to be locked down in case she does? Yes. So we're going to do that as well this week. So we're just going to keep an eye. Tinsley has not had babies yet, but her nest just keeps getting bigger. My Harlequin Lop in the house, if she does not have babies in the next 2 days, I'm going to rebreed her because I think it could just be a phantom pregnancy, or it could be if she got pregnant but then lost the litter very early on. Sometimes what happens is their body continues to think there's a pregnancy. So then I'll just rebreed her. Basically, it'll reset her. So she'll break out of it because she just keeps making a bigger nest, and I don't want her to keep pulling fur if there's no babies. So I'm only going to give her a couple more days. Anyway, that is about it for right now. We're going to go get some stuff done. I'm going to go clean that pen because it needs to be cleaned. I don't like stinky chicks. So I'm going to go do that. We'll catch up with you later. We're here to make butter. If it seems like there's a lot of noise going on, it's because we've got the bread maker going because it's mixing some dough because we've decided to have pasta tonight, and you can't have pasta without a good garlic bread. I don't have a loaf to use to make garlic bread, so I have to make the loaf. So I'm using the bread maker to mix the dough because I have way too much to do. I'm not going to stand around hand kneading dough. The bread maker does a perfectly decent job. But I have to make butter, and I'm also cleaning the dishwasher. So that's the other sound. That's the other whir right here. So I have quite a lot to do. Come here. I need 2 of these. I'm going to make more than I normally do, only because we've been going through the butter like crazy. And I need some butter for the garlic bread tonight. And I need... What else do I need? Let me just check the dates on these ones. Hang on. I just want to make sure I've got the 2 oldest. Yeah, I do. Okay, I was just checking. Always a good idea to check. But I have to make butter for the garlic butter for the garlic bread. So I have to do that. The other thing I have to do is I'm going to need a whack ton of butter for, drawing a blank, for Friday. I'm live streaming on Friday making cookies. So I'm going to need butter for that. And I don't know that I'll have a bunch of time to make a lot of butter between now and Friday. It's Monday, and I need all that butter for Friday, and I need butter tonight, and I need butter tomorrow, and I need butter Thursday. I'm not sure I'm going to have a ton of time, I'm going to be honest. So, dicey. I'm actually really busy this week, so I'm just going to do a double batch now. Hopefully it doesn't splatter all over the counter. But we are not going to time-lapse this. We are going to come back periodically. We'll probably come back when I'm squeezing it out. But until then, we are just going to let it run, and we will come back instead of doing the time-lapse thing, because there's nothing else I'm doing in the kitchen right now. So we're just going to let it go. And then we will come back. I have to press some of it into my molds and freeze it, because I need some of it to not get eaten. Look, people like my butter, okay? Gets eaten. So I need to save some of it. Anyway, I'm going to turn this on, and we will come back in a few minutes when I have some usable butter. Butter's done. It's been drained and all that good stuff. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. And can't talk today. Let that whir up, because I like salted butter in most of my stuff. So I'm going to let that go, and then we will come back and we will slap it into some molds. But you don't need to watch this part. It's really, really loud and really, really boring, and it only takes a couple minutes. There we go. See, it only takes a couple minutes. I have a nice, fresh, clean knife to get the butter off of here, because that's what you need to do. And there are tools you can get for getting the butter and putting the butter in the molds. But I'm going to be honest, I find the best tool for getting the butter in the molds is literally my hands. Okay, I use a knife and I use my hands. So you could take your knife and slap it in there, but ultimately using your hands is like better. So knife to grab some sometimes. Then I end up grabbing with my hand anyway. And then literally pushing it in. And I'm using silicone molds so they bend. The benefit though is I can get a lot in. And then I can take my bendy mold, give it a squeeze. Give it a squeeze till it's normal. Chop off the top. And then you take the bits and smash them back in the spots that need smashing, which is usually the corners. Literally, you smash the butter. That's what you do. You smash. And then you push again. There we go. Stick the next one in the next slot. Right? It really is easy. And then I like to freeze these, so I'm gonna have too much butter for all 4 of these molds, but that's okay because I'm going to put 4 of them in the freezer to set, and I am going to leave the other couple unmolded in the butter dish because the butter dish desperately needs more butter because it's out of butter. The butter dish is out of butter. That's why we're making butter. Because I'm out of butter again. If it seems like I'm out of butter all the time, it's because that's primarily what we use. Okay, I don't really use, it's not that I don't use anything else ever. It's just that it's my preference. So I would much rather, right, much rather use the butter and there we go. Butter in my cookies and butter in my cooking and all that. I would much rather use butter. So if you've watched some of my recipes, you might have heard me say, or you can use margarine. I always use butter. But most of the recipes will work if you use margarine. It's fine. It's just butter tastes better. Now, obviously, you're not going to use butter if you are allergic to dairy. So if you're allergic to dairy, you might use a plant-based butter or a margarine. That's fine. But personally, I myself use butter. I really don't use much else. Chop that off. There we go. That one's not very well formed, so let's just play with the edges of that one a little bit. There we go. And that corner needs more butter. But I'm only filling 4 of these molds. The rest is going directly into the butter dish because the butter dish has no butter in it. So we made quite a lot of butter, actually, which was the plan. That was the plan. And I like adding salt and pepper. You can just do salt. If that's what you like, you can just do salt. It's no big deal. But I like adding salt and pepper to my butter. And of course, it goes without saying that your hands need to be clean if you're going to use your hands. And really, your hands are the best tool for this. But yes, your hands need to be clean. And then afterwards, your hands are going to feel real greasy because it's butter. So also know that you're probably going to be washing your hands in hot water afterwards because, yes, very much it's butter. It's greasy. That's what butter is. Butter is a grease. There we go. Those look pretty good. Get the edges a little bit cleaned up. Just so much easier to use your hands. Stick the lid on. Got to make sure the lid's all the way on. Otherwise, it won't set up because the lid will keep falling off. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop that in the freezer so that those sticks set because they come out of the molds much better if they were set in the freezer. And this, I'm just going to grab the butter container. For some reason, the knife is inside it. That's not good. But just grab the butter container, scrape the butter out of the bowl, move the buttermilk. Yes, I need to put the buttermilk in the container as well. In its container. Not in this container. That would be weird. And then I need one of these. Oh, this isn't a good one. This is not a stiff one. But, you know, it's the one that's clean. And sometimes that's the best you're going to do. So, there we go. And this is the butter we're using immediately, and that butter is going in the freezer because I'm going to need it for making cookies and stuff. But that's it for right this second. We will head back outside at some point and check on the animals, and then we got to come inside because I got to candle some eggs. So we'll catch up for you in a few seconds, for me in a couple of hours. We're getting big now. We're getting big. We're almost 3 weeks old. We're getting so big. And the one I was worried about, I'm not so sure I'm worried about her anymore. Yeah, they're all looking good. They're all looking good. And here's Tequila to say hi. She loves bunnies. And no, I don't worry about her hurting them. She would never. She loves little bunnies. She loves the little babies. Yeah, don't fall. But yeah, they're doing fantastic. They are starting to exercise a lot, run around, do some bouncing. All the things little bunnies are supposed to do. And they're doing it. Because they're so cute. Let's go back outside. Aww. Remember how it was so hot before? Now, it's chilly. I wouldn't say it's cold. It's not. But it was like sweltering earlier. And now I have to put a sweater on. So what we have left to do tonight is make dinner and candle those eggs. So for dinner, we are only making pasta and garlic bread. I made the bread. It's cooling. Then I have to turn it into garlic bread. Yes, we always do homemade bread for our garlic bread. Because why wouldn't we? But so that's what's going on right now. Is I've got the bread cooling. And when it's done cooling, I will make the pasta and, do all the funky stuff that you do. Anything here that I need? I don't think there's any eggs for me to pick up because Tristan has been out here doing his thing. I don't think there's any up here. No. I think Tristan already got them. Hi, sweetheart. That's actually Donald. That's not a sweetheart. That's Donald. Hi. Hi, Donald. I'm just looking to see if there's an egg under there. Doesn't seem to be. You have a feather on your nose, man. He does. He has a feather on his nose. Hi, Blue. There's our beautiful Blue doing his blue thing. He's a good bird. We like him. He's a good bird. We like all our birds. Honestly, I wouldn't keep a bird I didn't like. Because there's too many nice birds out there to keep a nasty one. So, my philosophy is, if you don't like that bird or you don't get along with them, find them a new home. Someone will be able to provide them the right kind of home. Hello, Dewey. So that's how I tend to approach it. If you don't like that particular bird, somebody else will. Like, not every bird is a mesh with every situation, so. Quail egg. Quail egg. I love how small the quail eggs are. Only the one. We have more than one hen, obviously, but they can be slow to get started laying. And around here, they never lay till May unless you use artificial light, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do artificial light. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Come on, guys. And a brown one. So we actually have a really good selection of colors here for these bunnies. Like, we have, this is a solid chocolate, which I like. Excuse me. And we have, that's a chocolate otter, I think. But we've got blues, which I think I've showed you before. And we've got blacks. We've got a good selection here. So, that's good. We're going to cover them up a little bit. They need to be covered up because they're squiggling around a lot, which is, Yeah, I don't think she's going to have babies on the bottom. I don't think Stump's going to have babies. That's okay. We will... Trunk may be pregnant. So what we'll do is, if by Friday Stump hasn't had babies, we'll put Stump back in the big pen and Trunk can go in the little pen. So that's the plan. Tinsley hasn't had babies either. If she doesn't have babies in the next couple of days, I'm going to rebreed her because I think she just needs a reset. These guys are doing fine. They're doing fine. They need a few more days in quarantine. We're not going to mix them with the other rabbits until we're sure. We don't want to introduce illness into our own flock, into our own herd of bunnies. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. So if you are introducing new birds or new rabbits, new goats, a new horse, quarantine. It can save the life of the animals you already have. So definitely consider quarantining. I like to do 30 feet for 30 days, except under certain circumstances. Like, they're fairly young, so they're probably, look at all those birds. They're probably not carrying anything, but you got to be sure. It's not worth the stress. So apparently we're still playing musical kittens. Yeah, one of you has too many. So this lady has too many children. You have 5 children. See, here's the problem. Patches is Gwen's favorite kitten. So Patches hangs out with his mama, and Jake steals the other ones. Yeah, you love the kittens. Jake loves being a mom, though. Like, when I say I only let a cat have more than one litter if they were a good mom the first time, that's what I mean. Jake is so good at being a mom, just like Gwen. Gwen's getting fixed, though. Not because she's not a good mom. She's getting fixed because this is her 3rd litter. That's enough. That's enough when it comes to litters. But Jake loves to be a mama. Okay? She lives for momming. Like, being a mom is her life. She really likes that. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just setting up to film a video on mulch. And I'm not really showing anything. I just need somewhere to sit so I can talk about mulch. If you want to see a video on mulch, tune in on Thursday. Not on the vlog, but on my regular videos. Take a look on Thursday. I am going to be doing a video on mulch. I just want to sit over here because it's less windy. It's way windier over there. And cat. So she'll make a good mama too when she is ready to have babies. When she's ready, good. When she's not ready, then we wait. Okay. I have to pick up a box. There it is. This box has been blowing everywhere. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. We will worry about that later. Box getting flung everywhere. Oh well. Worry about it tomorrow. Anyway, let's go inside, worry about dinner, then it'll be time to candle those eggs. That's the plan right now. So let's get to it. Dinner time, or at least time to make dinner. So I made this rather large loaf of bread, and I'm just going to slice it. Now, I always have issues pulling this off, so hopefully I don't wreck my bread. If you wreck it, it's not really that big a deal, but You try to keep your knife level. And I do that by keeping my knuckles on the counter. Right? And try to cut it fairly straight. Okay, I think that's not horrible. I think that's not absolutely terrible. Put my knife back. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's not terrible. So then you put them on your cookie sheet. And I've got the oven preheating, and we've got the water started for the pasta. Just having fusilli. It's not, you know. So we're going to take the garlic butter. I will link to the recipe for the garlic butter that I use because it is easy to make at home. You can buy garlic butter. And I'm going to add a little just of the butter I made earlier to this as well, just because I can. But I want to use up my garlic butter. I'm just using up the last of our garlic butter so I can make more. Because you know what? Garlic butter's never a waste. Garlic butter's delicious. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to put some cheese on here, I think. I think I want to. Let's get a little more of there off here. We like cheese. I'm going to add just some more of our regular butter that I made. Because I can. And it's delicious. And we love butter. It's hard to go overboard with butter on garlic bread because you really need to butter it. So remember, it's going to melt and sink into the bread as it bakes. So your bread already has to be baked. Okay? I had somebody ask one time, can you do it with raw dough? Not really. You can make some really good stuff with raw dough and garlic butter. I did it for a few weeks. I made some fun stuff. Check out the yeast bread playlist. There's a whole bunch of options on there of what you can do with garlic butter. But if you want to make garlic bread, like the kind of garlic bread you get in the stores and the kind of garlic bread you get at restaurants, you need a fully cooked and cooled loaf of bread that you then spread your garlic butter on. There's my preheated oven. And once you've spread your garlic butter on it, you're good to go. So that's plenty of butter. I'm going to add a little more over here. No such thing as too much butter. Remember, it's going to sink down and it's going to be delicious. Okay. Now we're going to add some cheese. I'm just using a marble cheese. It's not really a big deal, right? Like, just checking my microphone. Sometimes I shut it off for no good reason. So we don't need a ton of cheese. You can put a ton of cheese. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't really need it. You don't need any cheese. Okay? If you don't want cheese, like there's no reason you have to do cheese for your garlic bread. I do because it's delicious. It's totally delicious, but you don't have to. So I'm adding cheese because I want to. And I've made this garlic bread so many times now that I don't even have to think about it. It's really easy. And yeah, you can buy the garlic bread at the store and pop it in the oven, but doing this is really, really simple. Okay? And we're going to take some parsley. Here we go. Get some green on the top. Parsley is always fantastic on the top of this kind of thing. I'm going to pop that in the oven. I'm doing it at about 400 degrees till the cheese is melty. Okay? Let's pop that in. Worry about it later. Now we need to make a dressing for our pasta. Where is my little baby whisk? I have a little baby whisk in here. Like I've got the big, oh, here it is. Ah, that's better. This is so much easier. So I've just got a little olive oil in here. And we're just going to add some stuff to it. So, there we go. We are going to add some lemon juice. I'm not going to give you the exact amounts. I will at some point show you the different dressings I make for different pastas and stuff like that, and salads. A splash of white wine vinegar. You really need the acidity. Just the oil's not good enough. You can use a balsamic vinegar. It's really good, but I'm not. Little bit of parsley in there. And we're doing some Italian seasoning. This Italian seasoning I mix myself. But I like to mix it myself because it tastes better. It literally does. It tastes so much better. Then we're going to do like some salt and pepper. And I'm adding a little bit of my sriracha seasoning. Only because you want to give it a little bit of a kick. But knowing, as I do, that not everybody loves spice. I go real easy on the spice. I can always add extra sriracha to my stuff later. This is garlic powder. I always add extra garlic powder, even though there's garlic powder in my Italian seasoning. There's no harm in adding extra. And then we are going to want some Parmesan. Now, Rowan will add extra Parmesan to his. I know he will. But this is the dressing we're going with right now. So we just have to cook the pasta, let the bread cook, and then we will come back and assemble dinner. It'll be great. Well, the pasta's done. So I'm going to take my dressing, pour that on. You need something because pasta sticks. Even if you like plain pasta, you got to put butter on it or something. You got to do something. And apparently I left my plate. Oh, well. I will get a plate. I had a plate because we've been snacking. So I'm not sure where I left it. To be honest, I'm not sure. So I'm going to get a new one. Also, we're going to need more Parmesan. People like to add Parmesan, and I do not disagree with them. Plate. Let's need a plate. Yes, we have the dishwasher running. So I'm just going to scoop some pasta. I like the smell of the vinegar. Put some of that on top. Take a minute to cut some of this garlic toast. I've already been snacking on the garlic toast. So if it seems like we ate almost half of it, that's because we were waiting for the pasta to be done. All right. Throw a couple of garlic toasts on there. And that is dinner. I'm going to go eat. And then by the time that's done, by the time I'm finished eating, then it will likely be time to candle the eggs. Hopefully the sun will have gone down enough because we do have to wait till it's a little darker. Luckily, I have fairly dark curtains in my bedroom, which is probably the place I can make it the darkest. So we'll go in there and candle the eggs in there because we'll be able to see a little bit better. But for right now, I'm going to go have dinner because I'm hungry. We've been doing lots of stuff today. So it's dinner time. All right, finally, it's time to candle these eggs. We're only candling the back trays, the back two trays. The other ones we are not candling. Now, it's always a good idea to have a little bag for anything that didn't develop. So we're going to shut the light off. There we go. Shut the light off. Turn our candler on. And start candling. Oh, my throat is weird. This one did not develop. This one is good. I'll just show you what that looks like. See those veins? That's a baby. We love babies. Oh, almost dropped that one. Yep. We just want to check each one. We have really good fertility in our silky eggs. These ones are silkies. The one that didn't develop was not a silky. Okay, that was one of our layer eggs. These are all developing. The silkies so far, we've not had one without development. Oh, that one developed. Look at that. That's a blood ring. So you see how it started developing and then it died. So it coalesced into that. When you see that blood ring, that means the baby started to develop and then he died. So unfortunately, that one will not make it. This one has veins and he's moving. When you see a black spot moving, let's see if we can see it here. Okay, over this way. Is that black spot? That's the eye. At this age, you can only tell the eye. He's alive. Sometimes it kind of looks like a spider web in there. Yeah, he's alive. So oh, this one's alive too. Okay, so we lost one silky egg that developed and then died. And then we lost a layer egg that didn't develop at all, which is fine. I mean, that happens. So that's pretty darn good numbers. So hopefully, well, tomorrow we get to lock down the front tray. We'll check the front tray and then lock it down tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going to put a whole bunch more eggs in the other incubator. We have stuff to do, people. We got stuff to do. We got babies to hatch, and things are going on. Anyway, that is it for us here today. It is time to get ready for bed now that we have had dinner and checked our eggs, and the baby bunnies are all good and healthy, and so are our chicks. The only thing we can hope now is that those ducks sitting on eggs under the barn produce some actual live babies. I'd like that. A few live babies would be awesome. But for today, that's about it. We'll see you tomorrow.